Hi, and welcome to Tarot Time. Happy Sunday morning to the live people. Apologies, I'm running a minute or two late. And if you're watching as a video, I'm just going to give the live people a minute to get their notifications, then we're going to dive right in. What we do on Tarot Time is I do a meditation card for the week. Yeah, also it's the election week, so it's a big week here in the United States. And what happens with the U.S. presidential election does have a ripple effect around the world. So even if you're not American, you're probably interested in what's going on with that. So we'll dive into that today. Maybe some predictions will come out, certainly some insights. I'm using tarot, but I have other divination tools. So we'll do a meditation card, a tarot spread. I have other oracle decks, see what comes through in the direct channel. And also, it's our Sunday morning kind of community interaction here on the Medium channel. So if you're here live, pay attention to what's going on in the chat and add to the conversation if you like. So I'm going to say a few quick hellos and dive right on in. And I see a few of us are in already. Hi, Katie, Susan, Suniverse. Welcome, Laura. Yeah, and the clocks went back an hour, right? So I don't know if anybody got confused with the time change or not. So hi, Laura. Let's see, how's everybody doing? So Laura's saying that she got a little bit of an unsettling feeling in between calm before the storm. There's a lot changing. Obviously, it's not just the elections, but vibrationally and energetically. There's a lot of reset that's happening. Hey, Jody, I hope you're settling in. Hi, Katie Bluebird. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Brianna. Welcome. Anybody that I missed? Hi, hey, Laura, Lakeside Laura. Welcome. Yeah. So, anything happening this week? I'd like to say I'll be glad when the elections are over, but I don't think it's going to end on election day. It seldom does in our modern election history, basically. Like I said, we're going to dive a little bit into it. Now, a couple of interesting things. Did you guys, I know some of you caught the November psychic forecast that we did a live stream. I think it was, what was it, Thursday night or Wednesday night? So we talked about a bridge coming down. There was a fire on a bridge between Cincinnati and Kentucky. So that happened. We talked about a lot of upheaval with the weather, a lot of severe weather in November, lightning, especially in the heartland. Oklahoma had a severe weather and tornado outbreak yesterday. Trying to think what else. There's a few other hits that happened already. Is the point that I'm trying to make. And there's a lot more predictions that came up. And we did talk about the election results. One of the things is we don't know who the winner is until the winner is, because there's multiple timelines. But lately there's been a lot of leaning towards Trump actually winning, but we'll talk more about that. But that doesn't necessarily mean he would take office, right? And no, this isn't a conspiracy theory, an election fraud, or whatever name they gave to it, or whatever. It's just what's coming through in the channeling. And also, given the fact that I don't know if there's been a fair election in the last 20 or 30 years, even. There's a lot. I go back to the both of the George W. Bush election, especially the Kerry one, where they actually had video evidence that there's tampering at the polls, and nobody really did much about it. Only in the swing states, only in the Democratic districts. Now it's flipped, because it's, then it was the Republican. Now, it's all flipped now. So we're seeing more of the possible tampering, alleged possible tampering amongst the Democratic rather than the Republic. So, who really controls these elections? Are presidents really chosen? And then there's an elaborate programming and manipulation that happens to make it appear like a fair election, or is it really a fair election? These are things we can debate, because I don't think anybody has the cold hard facts and knows the answer. We just have evidence that says there's at least a chance that there's some manipulation with voting, and that there's a higher plan and a higher order of who the deep state or cabal or whatever you want to call those minute few that rule everything. The ruling families that have all the money, that control the asset management companies, that control the corporation, that control the government, that kind of trickles down or trickles out of our pockets, basically, because our money goes in defeating their pockets, basically. So, God, I wish I remembered. I know there's a couple of other things that have already happened from that forecast, but anyway, if you want, it's about an hour. So if you have a little extra time and you didn't see the full November forecast, it's a doozy. I'll put it to you that way. So anyway, I want to see what you guys are saying. Then we're going to dive into some tarot. So 4, 8, 12, 47, one bridge. So many different things have been received, and keep to my paper or handy. Yeah, exactly right. And hi, Mr. Floyd. Hi, Josh and Kennedy. With the end of Free America, perhaps, but Kennedy also had mob connections as it came out also. So there's still, it might have been, anyway. We're not going to go back into the 1960s. No, we don't know. Thank you again. Of course, that's Suzette. Thank you so much for the donations. Hi, MDR. Yeah, so it's a big week. Lots of action. I from what I've heard, about half the votes have been cast already. Is that the name of the bridge, the Big Mac I-471 bridge daily? Interesting, yeah. So anyhow, so that's basically that. It's open northbound now, so it's still under repair. I'm wondering if that was what I was seeing, or if it was something else, because I was kind of getting an image of like a bridge literally coming down. Although, with psychic sensing, you don't always get the fine details of it. But I think this bridge caught fire, didn't literally come down, right? So there may be more to happen. Big week, little deal in the grand scheme of things. Thank you, MDR, for that. Oh my man. All right, yeah, yes. I'm just seeing what other comments you have, and yeah, numbers are coming up, so people are finding us. Very good, very good. Yeah, so that's basically it. There are a couple of other tidbits. Mercury, although Mercury changes signs regularly, but it's Mercury went into Sagittarius. It's gonna, I don't know. I didn't check my ephemeris. I don't know if it's gonna make it into Capricorn before it goes retrograde at the end of the month. I think it stays in Sag for a while. But also Mars is going into Leo today. So Mars does better in a fire sign than a water sign. So I think the shift of Mars and Mercury into fire signs is actually a good thing, although it could stir up like some anger and emotions and stuff like that, and energy and activity. But that's kind of what's going on. Thank you for reminding us to hit the like button, and maybe more people will get to see this. And that's basically it. So just recap. With the election, if you've been following me, I've been leaning towards Harris being the winner. I'll put it this way. After I had predicted May or June that Biden would step down, I didn't know Harris, although that would be the logical choice, would step in as the candidate. But once that happened, I just got this image of her celebrating a victory. So I took it as a message that she was going to win, and the spirits are talking to me now. I said, no, she may celebrate, but that doesn't necessarily mean she wins. You see, so they're reminding me that I shouldn't make assumptions based on psychic images that come up, because then come September, or maybe earlier in October, I got an image of Donald Trump celebrating the victory. And then I decided before my forecast that I did on Thursday, the November psychic forecast, because I own impartiality. And you guys know me well enough, the regulars, that I tend to walk in the middle of these things. I like to see both, being a true Libran, like to see both sides or all sides of things. But that doesn't mean I don't care. Of course I care who's president. Of course, who doesn't, right? I mean, I understand that no matter who it is, we're going to get through it. So I don't go into fear or panic mode if one candidate wins versus the other, because there's higher powers, higher authorities. But still, and those of you that do psychic reading or psychic work, the more you care, the less you're able to get psychic impression. You've got to get into this place of total presence, total neutrality. In yoga, we call it shunya, or the 0 point. You have to get to that place where we don't care, basically, and then we can receive more of the subtle voice of spirit. So I went into trance. I meditated a good 10 minutes, went into trance, and I saw a man, in office, basically. There's only, unless unless there's some weird right involved that happens, one like a gazillion to one chance, that would be Trump. But then my guys, as I'm saying that, they're saying, but there's still a fluidity to the timelines. Maybe it's not decided. Maybe I tapped into 2 different timelines, right? We can do that. We live in a quantum universe, not a linear universe. So all possibilities are out there, and whatever the collective chooses. Now, the other thing about that is, it's likely, though lately I've been feeling like they're going to declare a winner probably pretty soon. If it doesn't happen on election day, it may happen a few days after that. Because before I was thinking this is going to carry into November, December, maybe January. But again, there's going to be a lot of stuff contested. So now we're going to dive into some tarot and see if we can get a little bit more clear insight into that. Good morning. Hi. Yes, I'm in the glorious Catskills now. We had I think it was a hard freeze, at least a frost last night. Hey, Chris, welcome, and anybody else that here, welcome. So let's do our meditation card for the week. And I want to see what you're saying. Okay, that's a good comment, and that's not by accident for sure. With the control over people's emotions, and that was the other message right before I came on. You're reminding me that we have to stay in our hearts, stay in our power, not to buy into all this over emotionality and this fighting, this battling, and everything like that. I'm gonna, when I'm done with this, I'm gonna do a little short video, a real quick one. But they're kind of reminding me of I don't know where the relevance is, but a quote from the Bible, I think the book of Mark, that I cited a couple of other times. For those of us doing law of attraction work or manifestation, what Jesus says to, I forgot who it was. It might be the book of Matthew, but I'm pretty sure this came from the book of Mark, where he says, what you ask for in prayer, feel like you already have it, and it shall be yours. That's a nice little law of attraction quote from Yeshua or Jesus, at least what we understand it through the various translations and rewrites of the Bible and everything. But so feel like you already have it, whatever it is you want to create. We've got Mars going into Sagittarius, a lot of this fire energy. We're in the 11/11 portal because we're in the 11th month already. 11 is really I did a quick video on that also, talking about and that was a big part of the channeling from the November psychic forecast, also really explaining the dynamics of number 11 and the fact that there are 2 ones, and the ones are exactly the same. They're both one, but they're separated by empty space, a void, or an area of non-existence. You could put a 0 in between if you wanted also. And it's that void that connects them into oneness. So they're one and the same, yet they stand separately. So remember that. And that's the message for today is remember that, the other person may not like the candidate that you like or the ideologies that you like, and they may criticize you for it or vice versa. Remember, you're really one and the same. You're two manifestations of that same void, of that same reality. One is the manifestation, zero is spirit before manifestation, or the void. So we all come from the void. We come as separate entities, yet we're still one and the same. We're all number ones, right? So anyway, I hope that made sense. Even though, technically we got an extra hour of sleep or whatever, I had one heck of a week. Two massive parties in a row. I was doing lots and lots of mediumship, to all hours of the night. So I didn't really sleep much. When I do a lot of mediumship work, I don't really sleep a lot. So it's clear outside, clear as a bell, but I'm partly cloudy inside. I have to be honest with you guys. Let me see what new comments came up. Hey, blindly inspired, 33 on the chat. Where is everybody this morning? Only 33 live. Whatever. They're out doing early voting. That's where they are. Either that or they're just enjoying this. Let's see. What's Michael saying? Hi, Michael Marr. Welcome. Regardless of who wins, our nation cannot continue on its trajectory. The collapse of the fiat dollar is imminent. We will see. I agree. It's not a matter of if. It's not a matter of when. It's a matter of if. And I feel like they're saying, we could start seeing changes as soon as. Thank you, Katie. Oh, I love you. Thanks for the super stickers, guys, and the donation. I really appreciate it. You're speaking of the fiat dollar. Let's let that $20 donation be gold back now, not fiat, right? Or whatever it is. But anyway, what was I going to say? What was the point of that? Well, it's got to change, basically. And as humanity struggles through the awakening process, more and more people are going to see that it has to change. Not the powers that be, because with the fiat dollar, it's an amazing phenomena. That just basically means it's not backed by anything. Forget about the petrodollar. I don't even know what that is or why that was even a thing. But whatever the case may be, it's got to change, right? It has to, and it will. Oh, I know what I was going to say, because part of the I'm giving you a few little tidbits from the November psychic forecast. Although no, this was the video I did, the 13 spookiest predictions for Halloween for the next year, and one of them they were saying that there's going to be a major financial collapse around February. And I think, if that happens, if that timeline pans out, and if that indeed happens, I think that's going to, what was I going to say? That'll perpetuate the changes, because I think that's really what's going to come under scrutiny. It's like, money's worthless, really. I mean, it has the value we give it. It's the illusion of value, because, we buy a cup of coffee, spend $20 on it. Just kidding. That's mental value of it, but technically it's not backed by anything. So where's the value? In the old days, for the USA, and if I'm incorrect, Michael or anybody that knows more about the economy, you can chime in. But in the old days, to print money, you had to have gold in Fort Knox. There was a backing of gold, which has always been the standard of wealth in our modern culture, and also silver and other precious metals, platinum, diamonds, etc. And now you don't have that, so the cheaters can cheat more easily. It's like, oh, let's print another $3 trillion and drive prices up more, or whatever it is. Thank you, by the way, Laura. I saw that. Thank you so much. We love the donations. It just feeds this channel. Nixon in 71. I thought it was 72. My mistake. But yeah, I think that was the Nixon administration's answer to inflation or recession or something like that. But it's been a really good long time since that change. Yeah. Uh, Talking money tonight. Oh, okay. Money and you. Where are you? Is that on Mr. Floyd's channel? If so, check out Blindly Inspired. Very good with um feng shui and stuff like that. She was here on the Medium channel a couple of years ago, and we're gonna next year we're gonna revamp the guest interviews just to put that out there. So I'll get some of you guys on the channel again. Um, so in any event, talking money tonight in unity, good. So a few channel shout outs, then we're gonna dive right into tarot. Sorry that it was taking 20 minutes to get there. But feng shui on Eastern time on Mr. Floyd's channel, so 7 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time now. Um, and Mr. Floyd does a lot of different channeling work, amazing stuff, and he has like community hangouts every morning at 10:33 Eastern time. So if you guys want to come into more of an intimate community and receive the lessons from Archangel Raphael, Saint Germain, and the others, check his channel out. Check out Blindly Inspired has a channel. Lakeside Laura has a YouTube channel. Does Suzette have one yet? Maybe later. Although Jared's not in, Huda does amazing work with Vedic chants and fire homos and celebrations. I know I'm missing a couple of people that have channels, and if I'm missing you, leave that to us on the screen. Oh yes, Chris the volunteer does singing bowls or crystal alchemy bowls. So yes, very good. I miss almost every morning because I'm preparing for work or doing something at that time. So I'm not. It's hard for me to to jump in the mornings. All right. So shifting gears. So this will be our meditation card. It's interesting. They're showing me a tambourine. So I think one of the messages is engage more in music. Then you engage more in the flow, right? Because music is the flow. It's rhythm, timing, and it helps us to align with the universe. So there's that, and then we're pulling this card here, the Emperor card. So Emperor is about self mastery amongst other things. It's about having domain over your dominion, right, which is your reality, your life. So it's reminding us to understand that we do create our reality, or we have the power to do that, and but we have to be in charge of our own energy fields and our own minds and our own brains, because reality is perpetuated through energy, through repetition. And if you're not present and you're not in your power, that means that you're perpetuating the same thoughts, 65,000 of them per day, according to psychologists, 95% of them subconscious. The same thoughts that carry the same emotional charge, that's energy. Thought is intention. So you take those past experiences, make that your present intention, and you create your reality based on that, and then wonder why nothing really changes. Well, you've got to stop that chain of energy. So you have to start to become conscious of your thoughts, conscious of your emotions, sit with that, and elicit change in that, and through awareness. So it's about self mastery. But how to meditate with tarot cards, like any other meditation, you get present, relax, and then in your mind you step into the cards. So if you have your own deck, you pull your own Emperor. If you like the Morgan Greer version of the Emperor card, you can just take a mental snapshot. You step in and greet the Emperor. Maybe that's part of you. Maybe that's a spirit guide. Maybe that's an extraterrestrial, or an ascended master that's working with you. Maybe it's the collective, but whatever it is, you step into the card, maybe start to communicate with this figure, maybe see who else is not in the picture here, but it's part of the scene. But the point of connecting the two worlds. So when you're meditating, the physical world starts to blend more with the spiritual. You start to align more with the quantum field, and that's what we want. So once you get that blending, it's like you're stepping out of your physical world and into the energetic world of this card. So as soon as you step in, be aware of what you're feeling. If you hear anything, if you get any color, sound, smells, taste, stuff like that. In other words, engage in the energy of the card, discern the energies of the card, and then maybe get the messages, because then you'll be more aligned with the vibration. Each tarot card's a universe within itself, a reality within itself that you can go into and gain insights. It's very well researched by a lot of different eras of different prophets, metaphysicians, teachers, healers, and so forth and so on. So anyway, it's on the verse. Okay, so I'm just peeking your comments briefly. So music, definitely, keep the music, going. I'd love to get singing bowls also. There's a lot of stuff that I like to. Yeah, obviously I have my drum. I always have this. This is a handmade. It's a djembe, but it had a very Native American vibe to it, and the sound is very. It likes to do those very kind of earth beats. This drum likes the earth beats. My other drum likes a little bit more fancy stuff. Yeah, my drums have their own personalities also, and it's kind of like, it's not, when I'm really in the flow, it's not like I'm playing the drums. It's almost like the drum is playing through me, if that makes sense. And you guys that do drumming or music, I know you can relate to that also. So anyways, let's do a 3-card spread. I'm trying to keep it to an hour. I want to respect everyone's time. They get a lot of information. You guys know, because at least you guys that are here live know, that I do channeling work also. But anyhow, this will be our 3-card spread for the week, and see if we can getting any insights. There you go. So MDRs are very good, gifted with music also, and I gather kind of starting to get back into it. And Colin's saying the drumming takes to another place, and love it. Yeah, tambourines are great. Yes. And Katie saying you can get a simple wood or set for kids in many stores, and tuning forks off. I've been able to go out into nature, have rocks around me, just kind of beat on the rocks, and they have a slightly different tone, each rock, and play music with nature that way. I mean, you can make music with just about anything, right? I'm thinking of Frank Zappa now. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Well, he was an amazing guitarist, and the maniacal manipulation of sounds of Frank Zappa is coming to my mind. But we can do that in our own homes. Like, I have a heater that I can make music on. All right, so let me clear my mind a second. Let's tap into the energies, the election energy, all that stuff. See if we're seeing blue or red. Okay, this card wants to come up. All right. Very good. I have my clipboard handy. Interesting spread. 2 of the 8s came up, and then she's a 3. She's the Empress card, but yeah, this is a communication card. It's reversed. A lot of misinformation. I think one of the messages for us is just don't get wrapped up in the information streams. That a lot of it is fallacy, anyways. That we're going to be hearing some different things. I don't know. This figure's red. We'll see. And I'm in red. I know it's an accident. And yeah, personally, I have concerns about both candidates. So it's a tough for me. It's a tough call, basically. Um, but sometimes, in my way of thinking, it comes down to, do I want the status quo, or do I want you to take a chance on, the crazy, basically the craziness. Um, but in any regard, yeah, I just think not next week. I just think something gonna happen to maybe Donald Trump or Vance, and I've been kind of alluding to that. And in fact, come October, or even before that, even predicting that Vance or somebody might step back from, or even Trump himself, or something happens. But obviously, that's not going to happen, unless something really crazy happens in the next day and a half. But the Eight of Cups is peaceful. It's kind of like leaving established success behind and going into the unknown. Kind of accepting the unknown. We're just because of our primitive survival instincts, we're wired to always want the familiar because the subconscious believes it's more survivable. But I think it's just kind of an invitation to leave that behind and step into the unknown. And no matter who wins, I mean, yeah, whatever it is, I think we have to give them a chance, basically, whether it's Harris or Trump or whoever. God, maybe God will win, right? But whoever, and just know that no matter what, we'll survive. For those that were terrified of Donald Trump, well, guess what? We survived 2016 to 2020. Those that were terrified by Harris and the alleged socialist agenda and all that, we survived that also. Or I mean, Biden, not Harris. We survived that also. So it's all part of the awakening, all part of the ascension. And I did a video a few weeks ago about the election also, and one of the key messages was humanity's awakening. We're ascending no matter what. It's just going to be, depending on who wins, it's going to be a different path of how we're going to ascend, but it may be a different timeline, but it's still going to happen. And if it's one candidate that tend to just want to keep things the way they are and continue the process of what's been happening over the last 4 years, well, we'll still ascend. Maybe we'll see through that, or maybe there's hidden information that it's a good thing. Who knows? It's all conjecture from where I am. And if the other guy wins, well, that's definitely going to be an interesting. He has a way of making things very interesting, right? And if he loses, well, you know what? He's still going to be very visible. So it's not going to change a lot. And I think that's kind of what we have to keep in our hearts, that certainly, yeah, obviously it matters and obviously it's important, but there's forces that are more powerful than who takes office as the U.S. president. It's almost like a figurehead, or for whatever. So, by the way, who's ever thinking, that's dreading the prospect of Trump winning and thinking Project 25 and all that's worth being trepidatious about. If you guys have seen that or know about that, it's like, oh no. But I don't think he would really perpetuate that. Maybe some of it, but not all of it. But I feel like Spirit's saying it's not going to fly. It's not going to happen. If that were to happen, it would have happened a while ago anyway. I mean, I know they're kind of pushing towards that. So anyway, I think that's yeah. Uh, so if I can say, at one candidate, we will ascend at a much slower rate. The male candidate will accelerate it as a band-aid's being ripped off. But that's just time, though. That's just timelines. It's all relative. So, whatever meant to be is meant to be. And yeah, thank you. That's kind of what I was going to say. That I don't. Oh, I was saying that he's not connected to some of it, but you're saying, Laura, that he's not connected to any of it, which is good. It's a good thing. So he's not really a Republican. So back to Mike. I don't know if I fully buy that. I'll put it that way. But that's just my opinion, and we all have our own opinions. Sometimes, if we'll just say allegedly or conjecturally, if Harris is in, perhaps just the fact that things are being perpetuated that they were, and more people are getting fed up with it and revolting about it, that could actually accelerate the awakening. So in other words, there's so many different scenarios. I think the message is not to worry so much about that. And exactly, there's so much unknown. MDR, I thought you had some gold and silver. What's gold trading at? About 34 now? I've heard some predictions that it would be trading at 50 by the end of the year, and I have silver. That would be great news for me. All we can do is stay centered and be kind. That's the key. Stay kind. And I'll tell you this also. One of the things I noticed in 2016, which is one of the reasons that I'll put it this way, that I'm not 100% wanting Donald Trump to be in office. It had nothing to do with him. I know there's a lot we could talk about him and blah, blah, blah. But what I noticed was that people all of a sudden had resolved to be assholes right after he won and declared the winner. All of a sudden, 3 times as many people were cutting me off on the road, were being rude to each other and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about you guys, by the way, but the average Joe, not Joe Biden, but the average Joe that likes Trump, that's not, really savvy with the ways of politics or whatever, their candidate wins, their chests get all puffed up, and they're like, well, he's belligerent, he's rude or whatever, so I'm going to be belligerent and rude and that kind of a thing. And that's just an energy I just really don't like. So anyways, that's just my 2 cents about that. And yeah, I agree. Just because Biden won in 2020 doesn't mean that those people that had the resolve to be more assholes became less assholes. It didn't change, basically. So I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. That's more of a 2016 thing than a 2024 thing, anyway. So I get it. Wow, I didn't really have the capital to invest, but I wish I did when it was trading at around 1,000. OMG. And I know Michael was saying, invest, and you were right. You called that one. Very good. So let's move on. Or anything else we have to say? So what's the Empress reversed? Empress is female energy, right? She's reversed. Okay, well, there's many ways to interpret tarot cards. For us as a collective, let's not get down. This represents wealth, riches, divine feminine, the mother energy, Mother Earth. Maybe it's a good week to just get back to the basics of our spirituality and honor the earth and everything. And whether you believe that's the climate concerns are real, fake, or whatever. At least some of it's real. I'll put it that way. Yeah, and one of the things we talked about in the predictions for next year, basically, is that although I believe global warming is real. I mean, it is real. It's not a belief. I study meteorology. I'm alive. My head's not in the sand. The weather's changed. It's gotten warmer. Here in the Northeast, it hasn't gotten warmer as quickly as other parts of the world. To me, that's not debatable. You guys might disagree, but to me, that's not debatable. It's not fake news or anything. But what is debatable is the cause of environmental change, global warming. That's totally debatable because we don't have 100% the answers. And to the best of my knowledge is that human activity is partially responsible for it, but at the same time, This is just a blip in cosmic time. Human beings are not going to destroy the earth. We're not, that powerful. Sorry, we're not so important as we think we are. We may stress the earth, and we may create temporary changes that affects people and causes more either storm activity or displacement or whatever. But that's not going to happen. There's a much longer wave of change that's happening on the planet with the climate. But what they're saying is that's going to be secondary to the concern of the microplastics, that we all have plastic in our systems, and the animals all have plastics. Antarctica has plastics. That's what needs to be focused on. Well, other things too. So there's a lot that needs to be healed. So I think this is also saying, Mother Earth is, transcending and changing also, and clearing some of the energetic toxins as well as the physical toxins. So she tries to balance things. If we're putting more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, CO2 is at record levels. I think it's 4.2 million, parts per million or something like that. Methane and all that stuff. Well, there's going to be balance to that. If we're cutting trees down, deforestation, and even more importantly, cutting down to the grassland, which is even a greater contributor to oxygen and carbon dioxide. Um, the Earth's got to balance in some way. It's a system of many moving parts, but it's a whole, just like we are. So you change one thing on the Earth's going to counterbalance it. You create warmer temperatures, the Earth's going to create more clouds to try to balance that warmer temperature. It's going to create more rain as a result of that. There's going to be more flooding. There's going to be more storms, and we have to adapt, basically. So the idea is adapt, basically, and to do what we can, energetically do healings on the Earth, because the Earth releases all this karmic energy, all this suffering and pain of humanity over the last 1,000 years. That's primitive, it's senseless, it's one group conquering another group and enslaving, imprisoning, and all that. And we're part of the Earth's part of us. So she absorbs some of that. And now with these higher frequencies that keep getting higher, that's releasing what's stuck in the Earth as well as in the conscious field. So we're releasing a lot of pain and suffering from thousands of years. And we wonder why everything's in such a mess right now. It's the tower falling so we can rebuild. We can come back to the heart, back to unity, back to spirit, God or source, and start to heal this thing and start to really, as a collective, start to step into a higher power, into a higher reality, and something that's going to be fair for people, that we can grow and evolve as humans, spirits having human experiences, and start to heal the suffering of the world, basically. So anyway, um, so what are we saying? If you're worried about the Earth, you have to get rid of the undercurrent power that runs the world, because okay, that's a good point. I have to put the ultimate puppet, sadly. Methane has stood out as other gases as the quality of air. It's time to say it's not the best to do it as been doing boundaries. It's a victim becomes victory shift. Yeah, I think yeah, I would agree with that especially that first line. Yeah. And what you're saying, so she's saying that the left hates so strong, that's why there's so much anger when Trump won. Um yeah, but you know what? I to be fair, I see a lot of hate on both sides. I have to be honest about that. I get what you're saying, but I see it on both sides. And there've been I'm not going to dive deep into it, but there've been plenty of examples of hate on the other side. Also, I want to say, and when I saw about 2016, it was palpable. As soon as he won, the whole vibe changed, and people just got really, really rude. But I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just my opinion, Angel. And I like your name, by the way, Angel. Hello, Amy Harris and beautiful people. Um, and what's Michael saying about her economic plan? Is going to drive the really wealthy out of this country. Capital gains will be a beast. Even the middle class holding gold and silver will suffer. Let's hope that higher authorities. Where's this? Add to that. Okay, okay, very good. Well, I'm not really too warm on the economic plan either. But I think, like I said, I think either way it's going to change. And what Spirit says, it's different path is going to lead to the same place. Yeah, the timelines may be different. One may be slower, one may be quicker. But the underlying message is, we can't hate or be afraid of the other side. It's just that we have different ideas, we have different programmings, different educations, different insights or whatever, but we all want the same thing at the end of the day. We all want everybody to be happy. We want to be happy. We don't want to have to worry about things like money, security. One candidate might be a little bit stronger on internal affairs, while another one's stronger on homeland security. We have to go with it, whatever it is, right? Uh, my beautiful. Hi. Oh, okay. Amy Harris. Hi. Yes. Oh, yes. I'm just reading your comments. Hi, Millie. Welcome. Libby's to the ironies. Let's move on. It's already 45 minutes in. I think we got the gist of that. Again, let me. I need to reiterate something. This is like things happening quickly, sometimes too hastily and too quickly. Miscommunications, misinformation. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into the drama. This is very kind of like scattered, angry to a degree, but more like confused energy. So for these next few days, these next few weeks, especially if the results aren't clear after Tuesday or Wednesday, practice more being in your heart, do more heart brain coherence work, more meditation, get into that center, get into that eye of the storm. Don't get swept up by all the craziness out there. It's easier said than done, trust me. And I think that's the underlying message here, more than anything else. We won't get fooled again. No, well, seems like we've been fooled, many times over. So maybe we've learned our lesson as a collective. All right, I have to flip these cards up. Hi again, yes, and you're welcome, blindly. And be alert and pause before action. Yeah. What's the 5 second rule before you react, or something like that? Was that a teal swan thing, or is that the one that I really like? What's her name? Well, her last name's Robin. I can't remember her first name. Well, I don't watch her a lot because all of her stuff is even longer than mine. Oh, what's her name? What's her first name? I know if some of you guys watch her. Uh, Not related to Tony Robbins, but Mel Robbins, right? That's her, Mel Robbins. Uh, all right. Anyway, clearing my mind. Yeah, I think that I heard that on Mel Robbins first. The 5 second rule before you react. What do you got? The stars. So this is the star card, the life weaver, the spiders, the life weaver. What are we going to create in our lives? Are we going to feed all the anxiety out there? Or are we going to go into our center and create something from love, from connectedness, from beauty, from spirit? And by being able to do that, then the appropriate action comes. So because of the star, this is the life weaver, and it's really connected to the law of attraction. I will reiterate something that Joe Dispenza says, and something that I've been saying even before I knew about Dr. Joe, for that matter. And I need some water. Hold on a second. And that's when it comes to law of attraction, the idea you become a vibrationally match for something, it comes to you, basically. That's why it's the law of attraction. And I get act to attract. I don't disagree with that either, just to put it out there. But a lot of law of attraction teach you really focus. Well, you've got to act, you got to do this, you got to have a plan, blah blah blah, whatever. And my feeling is, No, you don't. What you need to do is learn how to be a vibrational match to that which you want to create. Then it comes to you. And part of the process is that spirit or your higher self is going to let you know what actions you need to take, what you need to plan, what you need to do in the physical world in order to augment, the that, if that makes any sense. So that's, the stars, the web, the life weaver. What are we weaving in our lives? Basically, we have to be the outliers because they don't get it out there. They're not where we're at. So we have to be the example, basically. Again, not to get triggered by them, but rather to stay in our power, to stay in our heart, to stay grounded, to stay firm in who we are, and then we become magnetic. We become our energy fields get stronger, and then it has more of an effect on the collective. But as soon as we allow ourselves to get out of our frame and get influenced by somebody else's frame, we get out of our power. We're less effective. We don't affect the collective as much. So this is the key these next few days. No matter how passionate you are in the election, and if you are passionate and then you're following a certain candidate, more power to you. I support that also. We should be passionate about our beliefs, basically, but we should also be grounded in our heart and open to change. Because sometimes my beliefs will change based on me being open and not closed off to other possibilities. And I get new information, it changes the beliefs. Next week, I may be saying different things because I may have learned something over the last week. So anyway, but the star is also about inspiration, about hope. It's also about let's create our reality. In our reality, there's no wars. Everybody's getting along. The borders are softening. The exchange rates are more fair. There's less poverty, less hunger. There's more help and services offered to the world, and that we're happier and we're projecting that happiness and that joy and that love of life out into the world, and helping to ease disease and suffering. Let's really create that reality, right? um it'd be useful on Tuesday morning, though I have to work so I can't do it. I think, Mr. Floyd, you're doing something Tuesday morning also, like a group meditation or something to try to help raise the collective. Go to his channel and do that with him, or whatever you're doing on Tuesday morning, 10:33 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. Um, let's see what's next on my list. Well, speaking of Mr. Floyd, who channels not ISIS. Well, he gave me the ISIS Oracle deck, Sekhmet, and Saint Germain. You do meditation daily, yeah. So I have a feeling you'll be doing something of significance for Tuesday also. And Mill's saying Wednesday morning is what Josh is doing. No matter what happens. All right, so check in on Wednesday morning also. Isis, thank you. I do channel Isis often. Yes, thank you for that. All right. Tootsie called 44 mice. Wow, she's been busy, a busy kitty. All right. Anyway, so Isis Oracle deck. Here we go. What do we get? Healing the Divine Masculine of Cyrus Rising. Yeah. Men have been programmed to be kind of wimps, right? It's almost like macho is almost like an overcompensation for that. So, with the divine masculine in men or in women, it's about, action, energy, right? Spiritual warriorship, maybe, although that's part of divine feminine energy also. There's a great book that opened my eye. Oh, sorry, I left this comment up. Called The Way of the Superior Man, which sounds like a sexist title, but it's not. It's by David Data. Does a lot of tantric work and just really shows, what it is to be a male, in the divine masculine rather than a man, because a man is a programmed thing. Oh, he's a real man, but he's not, basically. but male is the divinity, the divine masculine. So separating that programming from the reality, basically, the male's the seed, the female, the divine feminine's the void, the divine, the cosmic womb, right? That nurtures and brings life in, and the male is the seed energy, that helps to create that. So let's that. So anyway, heal. So let's heal our divine masculine. So that's another message also. While we're trending more into the divine feminine in our society as part of the awakening, or at least the divine balance, maybe need to heal the divine masculine also. And then we're powerful again. Then we can speak up, then we can take appropriate action, not be worried or afraid what people think about us. We can be stronger in our frame, basically. And thank you for this also from the card. Your inner masculine is going through healing, emerging with the divine feminine. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you so much. All right, very good. So notice finally people are finding us. So if you came on a little late, you know the drill. When we're done, this becomes a video and you can catch everything that we missed. And my longer chain, this chain is calling my attention. This is an aqua aura that's specifically geometrically cut to enhance channeling, basically. So this was custom made for me. So yeah, it will draw people's attention for sure. Okie dokie. Mouse are mental. Yeah, I have mice too. I tell them, don't come in here, you might die. I don't have any cats, but I can maybe hiss and meow, make them think there's cats. All right. I miss having kitties too, to be honest. All right. So this is our totem animal of the week. This is the card that I got. Honeybee. Ooh, I haven't picked this one yet. This is what's the name of this one? I have the box. Messages from your animal spirit guide by Stephen Farmer. Farmer is a good name for somebody that works with animals, right? So anyway, let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. Yeah, honeybees, what do they do? Honey is so healing. It's got propolis, it's got royal jelly, it's got pollen, it's very nutritious, antioxidant, it's probiotic and prebiotic both. But bees are a community, right? Everybody has their job, everybody's part of a greater whole, basically. And honey is sweet, so let's be sweet. Let's be sweet to each other also, and recognize that we're community. Even if people disagree, agree to disagree. That's a good expression. It's like, all right, we see things from a different perspective. It's like the medicine wheel teaching. You put a feather in the center of the circle. If I'm on the south side, I'm seeing an elongated shape. If I'm on the west side, I'm seeing a long flat shape. Basically, it's the same feather. It's just I'm seeing it from a different vantage point. So we have to remember that we all want the same thing. We want to be in the vibration of love because that brings us closer to spirit. We want to be in the vibration of joy because that brings us closer to spirit. We don't want to be angry, upset, or depressed because that pulls us away from spirit. And the farther away we are from spirit, the more we feel vulnerable because we're not connected to our divine mother anymore. Just like when with the cats, when the mother cat leaves the baby kittens, it takes them a second or two, but then they start flailing their little paws because they don't have, they're disconnected from their mother, and they feel vulnerable again. So this is really reconnecting through our heart with great source and great spirit. Then we don't feel vulnerable anymore because no matter what happened, we'll be safe and protected. Even if we have to physically suffer for a time, we'll always be nurtured and loved, and we'll get through it, and we'll be safe and protected. So that's what we got to remember. We all want the same thing. We can't hate on our brothers and sisters because they're programmed, or they don't see things the way that you do, or don't want the same things that you do, basically. Uh, very good. Yeah. Uh, that's a good oh, you guys are commenting quickly today. I would like people to understand that love and kindness are not necessarily only people's soft energy. Absolutely not. Warrior spirits have those too, even if you have a harder time with that. Yeah, warrior spirits totally have that too. Love and kindness. Let's not mistake that for weakness or softness. It's not, basically. Thanks for that comment. Good timing on it. So let's see. We've got Kyle Gray, Angels and Ants. No, this isn't Angels and Ancestors. This is the other one, the Divine Masters Oracle. I have two of Kyle Gray's decks. Yeah. Oh, I see. So there's a meditation. Yeah, you guys, when there's a meditation, go to the meditation. Be live with them. You can always watch this as a video, right? So no worries there. Sorry, I have to always lick my fingers. Here we go. Lady Venus. So that's interesting. So now we've got a divine feminine after pulling a divine masculine. I'm sensing a trend here. Light activation, call to action, power surge, earth emission. It's interesting because what I was talking about, the divine masculine, is in the divine feminine also, right? Call to action, right? That's you power surge, all that earth mission. So that's a good balance, right? Oh, I'm glad, Lindsay, where you are, the sun's getting strong. I don't know what it's like out. There was, a pretty heavy frost when I got up this morning on the ground here in the Catskill Mountains of New York. Um, Very good. Anything else? Light activation, yeah. So this is the time to step into the light. The frequencies are higher than ever. I think next week, maybe the week after, they're saying between the 11th and 15th, a lot of solar activity. We may even get another Northern Light show. Um, and as that, but the sun, every 11 years it goes through that polar flip, and there's a lot of solar activity, but each year it gets stronger. Now 2014, the last solar peak, is the year I didn't sleep, and I didn't know about solar flares, and that could be the reason. But it's a lot of transformation. It's a lot of DNA activation, a lot of light code frequencies that get expressed through the physical sun from the central sun, which is the realm of spirit, into our physical reality. So there's a lot of new codes that are being introduced into the collective fields, and that's going to help us to awaken to higher and greater levels of ourselves, our gifts, our abilities, and so forth. And as I'm talking, I feel like they're saying this is a time also to really work on self-healing, because we all have something, right? To really spend some time to really be in our heart. When you blend your heart and your brain, you become more open to these energetic frequencies, because you become coherent with spirit also. All it takes is really feeling gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion in your heart, and really holding that. And then your heart and your brain start to blend, and then your brain becomes coherent also. Fear, anxiety, and all that stuff takes the heart and the brain out of coherence, which makes us easy pickings for negative programming. So when we're in our heart, we're in our power, we're in our divine unity of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And then we are coherent with spirit also. Then we become open and receptive with a minimum of ascension symptoms as the body and the energetic fields adjust to the higher frequencies. We have symptoms from that. It takes time for the physical body to adapt to it, but you become part of that transmission. Basically, it's not like it's transmitting to you. You're part of it. Basically, you're part of that divine circle with no circumference. that totality and that interplay of emptiness and nothingness versus everything and abundance, basically. So anyhow, yeah, so that's what I get from Lady Venus today. Let's see what else we have. Frequency of the week. Oh, before I go on that, I want to do a quick lunation of the moon cards. I forgot the name. Moonology deck. Do a quick Moonology deck. Thanks for your conversation. I can't keep up with everything, but I'm catching bits and pieces. All right. Here we go. So this is step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So see, the North Node is in Aries now, I believe. It's probably going to go into Pisces before very long. So the North Node is of the moon, technically is when is the point from the northern part of the sky that the moon crosses the elliptical of the sun, or the path that the sun takes. So that's a little bit technical, but North Node is kind of like our direction in a way, what we're going into. So it's a step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, this is the time to do that. Being in your comfort zone tend to be unproductive because we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to embrace change. When I do frequency channeling and you guys step in, you're always stepping out of your comfort zone because you're working with frequencies you're unfamiliar with. So that's something to keep in mind also. So good message there. Hi, did Andrew pop in? Hi, Andrew. I didn't even see that. All right. Let's do frequency of the week from the Sacred Geometry deck. Yeah, having some great. So yeah, so I got the nodes right. That's good. Right. Be a warrior. Yes. Direction thinking. Perfect. Yes, Aries. Step out. Yes. 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 Very good. You guys are on it today. You are on it. Good job. Yes. I think it's much different than talking about it. Yes, it is. Good comment. Yes. 11:11 here in Texas. Happy 11:11, people in Mountain Time. I mean, Central Time. Excuse me. 10:11 in Mountain Time, which means we are way, way over once again. Trying to keep it in an hour, but I get very chatty. Allowance number 9. Number 9 is Mars energy. Mars is going to Sagittarius. So, I mean, Leo, excuse me. Mercury's going to Sagittarius. Mars likes the fire signs. Mars is our energy and our action, and Leo is like celebration. It's children. It's being more visible. Those of you guys that are thinking of doing more public work, if you're being called to it, do it. You'll have Mars at your back by doing that also. And yeah, you're a 9/9, Suzanne. So is Laura. I think Laura was in the other Laura. I know Lakeside Laura's in. The other Laura's a 9/9 too. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. There you have it, expanding with the universe. Your 9 life path, Laura, Lakeside Laura. The thing with Suzette and Laura B is they're both not born on the 9th day of the 9th month. Right, exactly, Laura. People can still be, and there, I knew you were on, Laura. People can be direct and still be tactful, which you appear to be. It is not your job to worry about how you are being received by others. Thank you. That was, directed to MDR, but directed to all of us. We're the 9 family. I'm born in September, so I'm an honorary 9, even though I'm an 11 life path, and 6 of my 8 numerology members are all 11. Thank you. We like you here too, Andrew. Thank you for finding us and being part of our community. I think all I have left are are my angel cards. Yeah, this is it. So I'm just going to pull a quick card, and then we're going to get on with our days. They direct me right to the top card. I swear I did not plan this. But we got heart chakra, the great unifier. The heart's the central chakra, the root chakra of our higher selves. Be in the heart when you're in your heart in coherence. And again, it's not rocket science. Heart's love. If you feel love, your heart's coherent. If you feel the lower emotions, or I shouldn't say lower, but emotions like fear, like separation emotion, I'll put it that way, anger, all that stuff, then the heart becomes incoherent, basically. So what the message is from Doreen Virtue's former incarnation in her same physical body. Some of you know exactly what I mean by that. The answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving. So we cannot access the answers in our heart if we're buying into the negative emotions, if we're worrying, if we're fearing, if we're worrying what people think about us, if we're worrying if we're right or wrong, all that stuff. You cannot be in your heart when you're that much in your head, basically. So the idea is you get into your heart and then you blend your head into your heart, and then the heart and the brain become coherent and become one. So then the thoughts process is more about love and connection and unity and all those positive spiritual vibes things. So just a reminder to be on the earth, the ground, be in your heart. Heart and earth have the same letters in English anyway. So be in your heart, be in your ground, and be in your center. We'll get through this week. We'll not only will we get through the next 4 years, a lot's going to come down. And what Michael's saying earlier, I mean, I do at least somewhat agree with you that one candidate will probably help to expedite this process of change and awakening. But you know what, Michael and everybody else that likes Donald, the Wrath of Don. I couldn't resist using that kind of a Trekkie. That was in my scariest Halloween forecast. All this stuff is up on my channel if you want to see what my 13 spookiest predictions are for the next year or so. So the Wrath of Dawn, that was part of it from the Wrath of Khan, for those of you that don't know Star Trek. So it was my favorite Star Trek movie. But anyway, even if he's not elected in office, whether he wins or loses doesn't necessarily mean what I'm saying. And I'm not like if it's the right word, like I don't have enough evidence to support the belief that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Now there is evidence worth honestly investigating or feeling out or whatever. There is evidence, but I don't have enough of it to state that as I believe that that's a fact. Possibility, absolutely, yeah. But the point that I'm trying to make is, even if he wins or loses, even if he's in office or not, he's still going to be a catalyst of change, whether that's some divine mission or just spirit just using him for that purpose because he's megalomaniac or narcissist, whatever you believe about him. I know these are polar opposites. We don't want to go into these polar opposites. We just want to know that this figure is an agent of change in this world, almost like a divine missionary, whether that's again a conscious thing or just what is from spirit. I think that makes sense, right? Point being is that even if he's not in office, he's still going to be catalyzing changes or whatever. That's my belief anyway. You can disagree with that. So Andrew believes that there is, where did that comment go? You guys are commenting too fast. I can't find. He believes that there's evidence to suggest that he is at least unfit for the purpose right now. I'm not going to say anything else, not here. Yeah, you're allowed to have an opinion. If it disagrees with other people's opinions, good. That's why I say, let's agree to disagree. If we don't agree, we all want the same thing. And there's legitimate reason to believe that he's not fit for office. Honestly, from what presented to us by the news or whatever, or what we see or what we hear, there's at least reason to investigate that further, in my opinion. One of the things that came out in the prediction was that they were talking about his health being questionable also. So, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, if he's not healthy, or cognitive difficulties develop, like what happened with Joe Biden. I mean, he is turning 79 in June, I guess. He's 78 now, I think. Um, that there is evidence to at least look into that, and to be aware of that possibility, right? All right. Anyway, and Lindsay's saying, regardless of what happens with that, there will be change in what we, and that's exactly the point. And I caught a video not that long ago from what's her name, April Elizabeth. Yeah, I think you guys watch her also. She's a very big, a very young and knowledgeable YouTuber. She's pretty much saying the exact same thing. It's just two different paths that are going to lead to the same place. So hang in there, everybody. We'll do this. We'll get it. This will happen, and we'll finish up with another Michael comment. The real goal is humanity staying in its own power. Yes, where we no longer want to be governed. We no longer give our power away as a collective. Right. We go into what the ideals of the Constitution are: power by the people, for the people, not power over the people to centralize, to enslave, but rather to give power back to the people. And that's what we're working towards. So great to see all of you guys here. Thanks for spending an hour and 15 minutes with us today. I don't think I have any live streams this week. 10:33 every morning. Do some work with our friend Mr. Floyd, with Josh, and anybody else that's doing meditations or whatever. I understand. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday morning. One of the the big ones that's doing I think it's on election day. There's a big peace meditation, that's going on in the world. But we're doing a lot of that. Maybe we'll do, well, on Thanksgiving, we're going to do one here on the Medium channel. But anyway, good vibration to all. Yes, love you all. Thank you for being here. See you next time.